Hey, this is Brett the Hitman Hart, and you're listening to the Smacked Raw podcast.
Welcome everyone to the Smack Raw podcast NXT episode. I am your host SES Vince, and today I got my good man right here, Mr. J Thunder, joining me for the recap. What is up, my man? How you feeling?
What's going on, man? It's definitely good to be here.
Yeah,
Definitely. It's just us. It's us two Chicago boys doing it today.
as how it should be. How it should be. I mean, we love RN, but sometimes it's nice to have the two of us. I hope that whenever we're together, it's under better circumstances. Without going into too much details, RN is dealing with a family matter, and he wasn't able to be here. So RN, we miss you. We got your back, man. If you ever needs us, prayers are with you, man, and just our good vibes and our good thoughts heading your way, man.
Definitely. All right, man. We definitely miss you, dog. Definitely, if you ever need something from us, definitely let us know. We'll be here for you, man. Just shout out to you, man. Hope everything gets better.
Yeah, we don't have him on here, but he's a great guy. He has some hot takes on Twitter, and he's a great follow on Facebook. So just look up Mr. 8984 on social media. Hit him up on his IG, all that stuff. Also, check out his YouTube channel / Facebook page, Mean Jelly Beans Productions, and on Facebook, Mean Jelly Bean Memes. I started following on Facebook. It's literally one of my favorite things to see on my timeline. It legit perks me up. It's one of the only reasons I still use Facebook, other than just like Messenger and Facebook are two different apps. I still use Messenger a lot, but Facebook, I use it less and less as the years gone down.
I mean, at this point, for memes, you can just go on Twitter at this point. So
yeah. Usually at this point, Facebook's just ripping off tweets from Twitter. So, but that's where you can find his stuff. So hopefully, he comes back soon in better spirits. Yeah, man, we're just thinking about you, man. Hopefully you're doing well. But let's get into the show. And make sure that if you guys are listening to us on wherever you consume all your audio podcasts, give this episode a download. If you don't know where to find us, that's simple. Just look up our Linktree / SmackRawPod. If you're watching us on Facebook and you want to get a good look at these handsome devils over here, check us out on youtube.com / SmackRaw Podcast. Give us a subscribe. Turn on the bell notification. Turn on the noties so you know when we go live. Hit the thumbs up button. Comment down below. And obviously, you see our socials right here on the screen if you're watching on YouTube, but they will be in the description at SES Vince, at JThunder2009, capital J, capital T. You could also find us on WrestlingNewsWorld.com. We are their exclusive wrestling recap podcast, so check us out over there. And while you're there, check out a fun article or news or rumors that might be going on in the world of wrestling. But with that being said, let's get into the recap, man. And first thing we saw was one of the two tag title matches that were advertised for tonight. Imperium taking on Breezango, or should I say Emporium, because they came out, they mocked them, they did a parody of Imperium. I love Breezango. They're freaking hilarious. I know last week RN was talking about how he wants to see them a little bit more serious, see what they can do in the ring. But as you can see, when they get in the ring, when that bell rings, Fandango can go, Tyler Breeze can go, and this was a really good match. In terms of match quality, there wasn't anything too much of substance in terms of matches, except for the two tag matches that opened and closed the show. Everything else was like a quick match, or like a match where you knew the outcome already, or maybe for me at least, a match that I didn't have too many stakes in. But I like this tag match. What you thought?
For the most part, I definitely dig the tag team match. I actually got a feel that Fandango and Tyler Breeze would have won.
Mm-hmm.
I actually got that feel, which is what I wanted.
Right.
I wanted them to have some type of feel like they were gonna. I wanted the vibe to be, oh hey, they just might win.
Mm-hmm.
And then they just literally just snatched me back in.
Nice.
They snatched me back in. It was perfect. It was good.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, and like I was saying, it really highlighted that Fandango and Tyler Breeze can really go. Obviously, everyone knows that Tyler Breeze can go in the ring. He's one of the core members that helped build NXT into what it is today, and they mentioned that on commentary. I love that they keep throwing that out there, and we just forget Fandango is a good, talented wrestler because he's saddled with like the comedy stuff for the most part. He doesn't really get to show what he can do in the ring. Hopefully that changes in NXT. So like I said, Breezango, they mocked, they parody the Imperium entrance. I thought it was amazing. That remix is fire. I need that Imperium remix on YouTube. I need some like wrestling fan that happens to be a DJ to go make that mix and like just make it happen. I want to play that. I'm gonna make that my new ringtone. I'm whenever I go scoop you up, Jay, I'm gonna start I'm gonna blast that bitch on my phone. Let you know I'm
so
coming.
I was more so concerned about the fact of how was that Fandango that had the little wig on.
Yeah,
that was everything. Like they did everything perfectly. I enjoyed every single
then
moment.
they get to the ring and then Fandango's starting to strip off his clothes. I freaking love it, man. I'm a sucker. I'm a sucker for them. But the match was really good. In all seriousness, like I said, they got back to the point they were trying to prove with their vignette last week, that once the bell rings, they're going to get down to business. It's going to be all seriousness, and they're going to be about business, which they were. They had a lot of great spots. You see like Fandango do that like over the top rope plancha that Undertaker does all the goddamn time. Like, they're so good. Super kicks up the ass. At one point, like you were saying, they had me believing, man, Breezango might go ahead and win these titles. But at some point during the match, towards the end, Tyler Breeze does spill to the outside. He's on the outside by himself in the sheer with Malcolm Bivens come out, and they look like they're about to attack Tyler Breeze when Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch come out to basically make the save. They attack them, and then that's when Fandango was trying to roll up one of the Imperium guys, but he rolled up the guy that wasn't legal, and the ref is trying to explain to him like, yo, he's not legal, and that's when the other member of Imperium, I think it was Fabian Eichner, that hit him with a DDT, counting him 1, 2, 3, and that's
out of nowhere.
Yeah, it was really good. It was a very smooth transition with it, and they got the win. They retained their titles. I guess it makes sense. This is their first title defense. You would assume they wouldn't just drop it so soon. And
like I said, man, like they grabbed you. Like when Fandango hit that leg drop, I thought it was over with.
Yeah,
I thought it was over with.
It looked like it was done. But it does look like they're trying to set up something. Commentary was trying to push the narrative that it's like cluttered and like congested and just like a bunch of people in the tag team division.
Well, here's my thing, man.
Which it really isn't yet, but there is a lot of teams right now.
I don't know if you noticed this, but I think in like this whole, like, I don't know if you've been, like paying attention completely, but they've been like putting up all the storylines. It's just been crazy.
Yeah.
Like every storyline has just been left and right. Like it's storyline after storyline after storyline after storyline. Everything on this show was storyline related.
Yeah, and that alludes and adds to the point I was trying to make. There wasn't too many matches with substance. There wasn't any like match that I'm like, man, that was a really, really good match. I'm like, you guys got to go back and watch it. Like, honestly, you can skip both of the tag matches. They were solid. They were good for what they were doing. This match, it looked like they were just setting up the Fatal 4-Way match, where it looks like they're going to have Indus-Sher, Lorcan and Burch, Breezango, and Imperium in the Fatal 4-Way match for these tag titles. It looks like they're doing that, where they're trying to like build up contenders and have them all come in at the same time. And what this win does, it was technically a protected loss on Breezango, because he wasn't aware the guy wasn't legal. He gets basically double team. He gets attacked. He gets blindsided. So you can make an argument that they weren't beating clean, even though it was a clean win. There was nothing illegal about it, but the distractions from the other teams coming in played a factor in this, and it does look like they might set up that way. And we'll talk more about the tag team division once we get to a certain segment, because there were a couple things here that they were trying to do to set this up, And that's one thing that people have been talking about. NXT's tag team division does right now seem like they need some more players, some more depth in there, and that's what this episode did. You have the four main people. You have another possible team, another team that isn't interacting with the tag titles, and another team that could be formed down the line, and that's exactly what we're gonna talk about next. Because Velveteen Dream had an interview with Tom Phillips. Did you get to see it?
Yes, I did.
Okay, cool.
Yes,
And so basically, he's asking Velveteen Dream what's next for him because he lost his the backlot brawl with Adam Cole. The stipulation was he can no longer challenge for the NXT title so long as Adam Cole is champion. So
But Velveteen Dream says he doesn't recall it happening at all.
See, I don't care what Dream says. You got to follow the rules, man. Like I'm sick of this. This is.
I don't recall him losing.
Anyway, he doesn't recall, but everyone else recalls him taking the loss in that match. As he's talking, you see Dexter Lumis creeping from behind the sofa couch to drop like a
that was adorable. That was so adorable. Like I don't care what nobody says. Dexter Lumis is like my fave right now. He is so adorable. He is like, that picture was too adorable.
So to illustrate for the audio listeners, he places a drawing of himself and Velveteen Dream, kind of like caricatures with the NXT tag titles, basically alluding, hey Dream, let's be a tag team. Or he thinks that they're a tag team now. And then that's when Dream notices the painting, the drawing, shows it to the camera, and he's like, see this right here? This means nothing. This doesn't mean anything. Dexter Lumis came out and he helped the Dream, and when I came out last week, I was just returning the favor. That's all that was. So it looks like what they might be doing is like a Goldust Booker T angle, where Goldust wants to team with Booker T, and Booker T's like is having none of it, and it looks like this is where they're going, where Lumis is clamoring for this tag team between him and Velveteen, and Dream's like, nope, I don't want to do it, and eventually he's gonna give in and they're gonna get the tag titles. So they might be the team that gets the titles off of Imperium. So that to me felt like this team's gonna happen. When it does happen, they're gonna get the tag titles.
Oh man, I don't know when though, because I mean, like, we got a stacked deck for the tag team division, man.
Yeah,
a stacked deck. I'm telling you.
Like we were mentioning, you have Imperium, you have Breezango, you have Indashir, you have Lorcan and Birch, you have Undisputed Era still. Later on, we'll talk more about them, but
we're definitely going to talk about the Undisputed Era because I know everyone saw what I saw.
Yeah, clearly. You also have Santos Escobar, like his minions in Raul Mendoza and Joaquin Wilde. They could be a tag team thrown in there, and like we were mentioning,
badass. Let me just say
exactly. And then this team that could be formed between Dream and Dexter Lumis, that's looking really good. They're really replenishing the tag team division. That's why I'm never worried about NXT when it comes to like their depth in their roster, because even their women's roster, they were talking about it needs more people, more big names. And I had it like listed on my notes for later on when it happened, but I might as well just mention it here since we're already talking about it. Mercedes Martinez, she had a vignette. She looked freaking dope. She like a total badass, and I can totally see her being played up similar to like a Shayna Baszler, where she's like this dominant badass and gets to the title scene. So that could happen soon. Next up, we had Damian Priest taking on Killian Dane. This was a very competitive match, but Damian Priest does win. He hits the reckoning throughout the match. You do see Killian
Crossroads.
Dane.
Remember, it's the Crossroads.
I'm calling it by its government name currently.
No, it's not. That's not even the government name is Crossroads. Last time I checked.
Yeah, anyway, regardless, he calls it the reckoning, so that's what I'm gonna try to like announce it as, basically, Jay. And so he hits it, and like I was mentioning, Killian Dane was targeting the back of Damian Priest throughout. I thought this was a solid match. I liked it. And I think the big motive here is I felt this was just a match to get a win back onto Damian Priest following his loss to Finn Balor at TakeOver. So just trying to get some more momentum.
It should have been Killian Dane, though. Like, I feel like it could have been somebody else. but they still had a solid match no matter what the
Yeah,
situation
for
was.
sure. I mean, it was like I said, it was a competitive match. It wasn't a squash match by any means, but going into it, I kind of felt Damian Priest is going to win because they haven't really done anything with Killian Dane like in the last couple weeks or months, and obviously Damian Priest is a guy that NXT brass is high on, and they want to push and move up to the card. Um, yeah, so that happened, and we have more Damian Priest later on. Following this, though, we had Xia Li taking on her quote-unquote rival Aaliyah because they keep on facing each other nonstop. Xia makes her way to the ring. Aaliyah comes down when she's at the top of the stage. She notices Robert Stone, like basically drunk, depressed, down on his luck in like the side over there. They put a spotlight on him. Aaliyah feels bad for the guy, and for whatever reason, she's still clamoring for Robert Stone's attention, and she brings him to ringside. And kudos to Robert Stone. I thought he played the role that he was told to play tonight. I think he played it extremely well. What's your thoughts on Robert Stone and his mental breakdown right now?
Oh my god, this mental breakdown is hilarious to me, man. Like it's like a person who's like just got down on their luck. They had everything in the world, and then one person said you're fired, and now he's down in the dumps.
Yeah.
But they're giving him something to do. I love the fact that they're giving him something to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's my main concern. Like, give these superstars something to do. Give them something to do while we're dealing with this pandemic.
Right.
Like, that's something that we definitely need to do. Are we talking about the match? Because the match itself it was a normal match. It was a normal match. I mean, like
It was there.
it was about par. It was about a par match. But how Aaliyah won the match was hilarious.
See, you were talking about like your concern. I was concerned about that finish. How sanitary, given the situation we're in, how sanitary could that have been? So to address the spot, Robert Stone makes his way up to the apron, and he looks like he's drunk. He's not all there, and he goes and he throws up in the ring. It distracts Xia Li. Aaliyah goes to roll her up and doesn't get her shoulders on the mat properly, and they botched the finish, and they had to redo the roll up right away and get the win. Like, the finish, it is what it is, but given the current climate that we're in, I don't think it was the most sanitary thing to do, man. That's my only concern and critique about this match. Would you agree?
It was hilarious, yo. It was hilarious. I couldn't have. Look, it's very sanitary. It's very unsanitary. Trust me, I get it. I completely understand.
Right.
But the fact that he's like that was a finish is hilarious to me.
Oh, for
and then
sure.
at the end of the match, what kills me is that he fell. Like he felt like everything was perfect. It was perfect. It was like he was someone's drunk uncle.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. I mean, dude, I'm Mexican. I've seen my fair share of drunk uncles. Trust
exactly.
me.
So you know how it goes down.
I know. I get that. I totally get that. So it's interesting to see what they're doing. Obviously, it's something to help out Aaliyah for whatever reason. NXT hasn't given up on Aaliyah. They're still kind of high on her. She could be the next Angelo Dawkins, because Angelo Dawkins was in NXT forever, and he finally got a tag partner with Montez Ford and made the Street Profits. So maybe that's what Aaliyah needs.
Well, here's my thing though. It's like I still see her as this female wrestler number 7. So like
yeah.
I need something to like wow me about her. Like Kaden Carter wows me. She
Yeah.
wows me. People like her. I'm still waiting on Chelsea Green to do the same exact thing. I'm still waiting on people like what's her name? The one the one that had the match with Dakota Kai last week.
Oh, Casey Canizaro.
Yeah, she's
The
got
Ultimate
a little
Ninja
spunk in
Warrior.
her, which I do like.
Yeah.
But I want to see more. I want to see more of what she can do.
For
Like
sure.
I can't just give them off the back. Like I feel like Aaliyah might have some, potential, but I want to see more. Like I want to be convinced.
For sure.
That's the whole point. That's the whole point of being a critic. That's the whole point of us doing this podcast.
Right.
Telling us how we feel.
For sure. Well, tell me how you feel about Thatch Can Camp of wrestling.
I thought it was hilarious.
I love it. So basically,
I love it.
So basically, this is just day one of the camp, and Thatcher is just like basically showing all the trainees or like all the camp like prospects like various submission holds and how to like up the intensity, how to like increase the pressure on the holds. Let me ask you this, Jake, given that you are a professional wrestler, you work here and you are a tag team champion. I had to plug that. You are the PWX tag team champion.
I didn't want to toot my own horn, but
that's okay, man. I'll hype you up.
Appreciate it.
I'll do that for you. I'll do that for you.
Now I'm feeling like this is an interview for me. Hold on a second. Wait.
Well,
testing 1 2 3.
Well, I do have an interview question for you, Jay Thunder.
Right.
Would you join Thatch camp, wrestling camp? Would you join this? Would you want to participate? Would you want Thatcher as a trainer?
Yes.
Given what you saw, so you go through that shit. You let him put you in the Fujiwara.
Here's the thing. Here's my thing. When you're doing, because he's a submission artist.
Yeah.
One of my biggest things that I've always loved doing, and I've always admired, is a good submission hold. Like I've always been a fan of the crossface. I've always been a fan of things like the Anaconda Vice. I'm a very big fan of the Hell's Gate submission hold. So anyone using any arm bars or anything like that, like I'm all for it. Like anything to like break your opponent down, I'm all for it. I love that shit. That shit is amazing.
Yeah,
to me.
Sure.
So, and for big people to do it, like think about it. It makes them all around. Like I feel like every big man should at least have one submission hold.
I think every wrestler should have at least one submission hold. You'll never know when you get put in a situation where it's a submission match and you have to win by submission. Or exactly. Like, it's wrestling, so you never know. So that's a good thing to have.
Undertaker had to come up with the Hell's Gate.
Exactly. One thing everyone should have is some good therapy sessions if you need it. And apparently, Roderick Strong needs good therapy. So we had the Undisputed therapy
Yes, I've been waiting to talk about this for the longest. Let's do it.
So this is just to help Roderick Strong because he has like PDS. Wait. What was it? Is it PDS or
PTSD?
PTSD. I don't know. I had a brain fart. PTSD.
Yeah, he's got PTSD.
So he has PTSD because of the whole Dexter Loomis abduction and being stuck inside the trunk this entire time. I guess Bobby Fish is just way more mentally strong than Roddy because he's shook to the goddamn core, and I love it.
It's the mustache, bro. It's the mustache. Yeah, that's probably it. And someone who had a really good mustache was Kyle O'Reilly because he was obviously the therapist in disguise. Oh God, it was great to see Kyle O'Reilly because I thought they were gonna say, I thought they were gonna mention the fact that was Kyle O'Reilly. I thought this was just a trick.
Yeah,
but they actually made it seem like they didn't know who he was. I was like, so this is just a plan from the get-go.
Yeah. So I personally liked it because it kind of felt like a sketch comedy scene where like you obviously know who this is, but they're just playing it up. It felt like Pokemon where Team Rocket has like some half-assed disguise, but Ash still can't recognize them. That's what this felt like. So
that guy looks familiar. I can't put my finger on it though.
So Dr. Therapist Kyle O'Reilly, he starts to show Roderick Strong a couple images. Like the images where they show you, I'm like, what do you see here? They show him a third image and they tell him, flip it around. They flip it and he's like, that's it. That's the trunk. And then he starts freaking out. He starts going all over the place. Adam Cole and the rest of Undisputed Era, Bobby Fish, they're trying to calm him down. Kyle O'Reilly, he's like, look, what you need to do is you need to confront your fear. You need to confront this trunk. And basically they're saying you have to go inside that trunk, face your fear. So obviously that's the next thing they go ahead and do. So they go to the parking lot to a car and they try to like tell Roddy, okay, you got to go inside the trunk. We're going to close the door. You got to face this fear. And he just runs away. He's like, fuck it, I'm not doing this shit. I thought it was hilarious. It was great, man.
It was beautiful. Like I enjoyed every moment of it. It was like Well, first of all, number one, it was lovely to see Kyle O'Reilly back on TV.
Mm-hmm.
That's number one, because I've been kind of worried about, like, don't get me wrong, I have my thing about the Undisputed Era, but in a way, Undisputed Era has rub off on me in a really good way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love them, but I also hate them, but I love to hate them. So
And as they should be. That's how you should treat them. And also
yeah.
too, I like, for me, it was just a joy to see Kyle O'Reilly back. I think I've come to the conclusion he's my favorite member of the Undisputed Era. Like, he might not be like the best one, he could be, but for me, I think I enjoy him the most. I think it started with the air guitar and his facial expressions. He's just a walking, talking meme. I love him. So it was a weird transition because from there they cut straight to an Adam Cole interview where he's asked about what happened last week with the whole Karrion Kross, Scarlett Bordeaux
Oh
stuff.
my God. So we definitely need, this is another thing that we definitely need to get into,
Mm-hmm.
because all the shots that were thrown in this interview in this segment were
Yes,
crazy.
there were a lot of like jabs thrown at each other. A lot of shots.
It was a jab, like everybody was jabbing after everybody. It was hilarious.
Yeah, so it was pretty good, but so it was Adam Cole, and he was like, "Oh, they're just trying to like send me a message. They're trying to intimidate me, but he's nothing, and I'm gonna go out to the ring and like address the whole thing." Keith Lee spots him. He goes up to him, and he hits him with the basic line saying,
Keith Lee, whoop, whoop.
So he comes up and he's like, you know what, Karrion Kross is right. Your time is running out, but he's not gonna be the one to take that title from you. It's gonna be me, and he grabs the hourglass, and then he breaks it. So and that's great foreshadowing, because later on in the show, you just see like a quick 30-second vignette where you clearly see Scarlett Bordeaux walking towards the broken hourglass, pick up a little bit of sand, and then you see the feet of Karrion Kross. So that could mean that maybe they're going to target Keith Lee after all. So they're not going to go to Adam Cole right away. And
what happens is they're going to cost him the North American Championship for Gargano to win, or Finn Balor to win.
Mm-hmm. Well, since you're talking about that, let's talk about this, because following that segment, that's what I loved about the Adam Cole stuff. Like, Adam Cole had 3 segments and they followed each other, so continuity wise, it was really good. It flowed really well, and like you mentioned, so he comes out and he comes out to address Karrion Kross and Keith Lee, saying that, oh, you guys both want this title. You guys aren't going to get it. Karrion Kross, yeah, you had an impressive win over Tommaso Ciampa, one of the biggest faces here in NXT. But guess what? I've been there. I've done that. That's not so impressive. Come to me when you held this title for 381 days or however long he has it. Then he warns Keith Lee. It's like, hey, man, you trying to talk about how you want my title. Well, you better watch yourself, because maybe I want the North American title back, and maybe I want to hold that title for 381 days. So he's like, hey, you want my title? Maybe I want your title.
I'm gonna want your title. Ha! What you talking about now?
So obviously, you mentioned the man. He's gonna come out. He makes his way to the ring before he can even say anything.
Finn Balor.
No. Johnny Gargano comes out
Gargano.
first. Yeah, so Keith Lee, before he comes out, he gets in Adam Cole's face before he can even say anything. Johnny Gargano comes out, and he's like, yo, what's going on here? I like, if anybody deserves an North American title match, it should be me. I pinned you last week. Keith Lee made a point about like, hey, like, how is Candice? Like, oh, she's okay. Thank you for asking. It's like a snippy remark by the two. Johnny also looks at Adam Cole. It's like, when I'm done with him, maybe I'll go after your NXT title next. So now they're coming out. Everyone wants both the North American title and the NXT title. Keith Lee's talking about how, like, hey man, you know what? When I picked Candice LeRae up last week, like, I almost had a tear down my face, like down my cheek, because I picked her up and I heard her whisper to me. I was like, this is the most action I've had in weeks. And then Johnny just like flips out. It's like, she did not say that. She did not say that. And then Keith Lee just starts grinning and gets all cheesy, because he's really good at these like little like jabs and jokes. You can tell he would be a fun guy to talk to and hang out with.
I feel like if it was time to like, if it was time to go if we were out somewhere
Mm-hmm.
and someone wanted to talk about me,
Right.
like literally he'd be the one that'd be like, "Oh, so you want to talk about somebody? Let's
Mm-hmm.
talk about those shoes that you got on.
Yeah.
What are those?"
Yeah. Yeah. He totally is that guy. So once he throws that jab about Candice LeRae, Finn Balor comes out. He gets on the mic and he's like, Keith Lee, you must not have gotten my message last week. And I'm coming. I'm gonna take that North American title. Johnny starts snapping at him. It's like, hold up. That's not how this works. You know, like you're not gonna get a title match. I am, and then we're not the same. You know, like he tries to allude that he's better than Finn Balor, and then Finn turns it around on him, telling him like, yeah, you're right, Johnny. We're not the same. Unlike you, I don't wait in line. I'm cutting to the front. And he gets in Keith Lee's face. This was good. He's like, hey, big man, you better. This isn't a challenge or a request. This is a warning. I'm coming to take that North American title. And he's like, and when I'm done with you, I'm coming straight for you. Turns to Adam Cole, tells him I'm coming for your title. So now he wants the NXT title and the North American title. All four men involved in this ring want both fucking titles. I loved it. What was really good about this is that it not only like raised the stakes in terms of who's gonna go after the NXT title, but it helped to elevate the North American title because so many top names want this North American title and isn't just strapped onto like some mid card guy that doesn't get used like a Cameron Grimes. Like I love Cameron Grimes, but the title isn't gonna mean as much if he has the title because Keith Lee has it, Adam Cole, Johnny Gargano, Finn Balor. For the biggest names in NXT, they all want that North American title. It raised the value and the prestige of that title, made it feel like a really big deal. So, like I said, Adam Cole's like, hey, you know what? You know, you shouldn't be talking. I'm the guy that broke your longest reigning NXT title reign. And if you notice, I wherever you go, I follow and I just one up you every chance I get.
Yo, that there kind of got. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, that was that was a reference to like him leaving Bullet Club and then Adam Cole later on joining and being a champion.
I was like, yo, it's time to go.
Yeah.
Yo, it's time to go.
Yeah. So Finn doesn't really say anything. He just points to Adam Cole, like draws like an X in the air. He's like, what is that? What is that? It's like that's where I'm gonna punch you. That's where I'm gonna punch your face. It starts to get really heated. William Regal comes onto the Titantron and he tries to dispel the situation. It's like, gentlemen, calm down.
Gentlemen.
I mean, I wanted to do a Regal impression.
I can't do a William Regal impression.
I just decided not to do it.
Sorry. I wanted to try to do a William Regal impression, but I couldn't do it. I could probably do a Brooklyn one, but you know,
yeah,
yo, I'm from Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So,
son.
Yeah, but
anyway,
unfortunately, Regal's not from Brooklyn, so we can't do that. So Regal does announce that, hey, you know what, gentlemen, you guys gave me an amazing idea. So next week, we're going to have a North American title triple threat match. Keith Lee is going to be defending against Johnny Gargano and Finn Balor. But not only that, the winner of that triple threat match goes on to face Adam Cole on July 8th, which is 3 weeks from now. And the winner of that match faces Adam Cole for the NXT title and North American title in the winner takes all match. Bro, this is gonna be so dope. I don't know who's gonna win this.
So we're not gonna let Keith Lee get all of this. We're not gonna let Keith Lee get the titles.
Let him get everything. I want him to get everything. Everything. I give him all the titles. You know what I mean? I'm hyped.
I feel like I want to be quite honest with you. Like I feel like Keith Lee has had the North American title a decent amount of time.
Mm-hmm. But see, here's the thing: if he loses the title, he can't have an NXT title match in 3 weeks. That's
what I'm saying.
Okay.
So there's no way that Keith Lee, like I feel like this should be it right here. Like Keith Lee should be able to, take the titles off of. He should be able to take the NXT title off of Adam Cole. Like if I feel like this should be it. Like
it should be, man.
It should be, but we don't know. Like I said, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll find out. We'll find out next week who advances to that title match. But in the meantime, let's talk about the following match we had. We had Kid and Carter, as you mentioned before, taking on Dakota Kai. This was the setup from last week. Obviously, Dakota Kai took on Casey Canzaro last week. Kid and Carter tried to come in.
Hayden Carter with the moves, man.
She has some moves.
She has some moves.
This is a very, very solid match. I liked it, but between the
but you know how it was pretty much it was kind of like a squash match.
It was an enhancement match. I don't like to use squash match unless you get completely destroyed, which is the next one of the next.
An enhancement match, yes.
Yeah, it was an enhancement.
Yeah,
match.
that's how the pros say it. Yeah. We say it enhancement matches.
And here's the thing, I am vibing hard as fuck with Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. I think
it's a good team.
Yeah. Now, usually this happens when a new theme song hits. You don't really listen to the beat, the melody of it, but the more you hear it, the more you know how the intro starts. Bro, I was jamming to Dakota Kai's theme song. At this point, it's one of my favorite theme songs. It's such a badass theme song.
Hold on.
Yes.
Hold on.
Yeah.
But at the same time, she's not Io.
No. I'm just saying it's one of my favorite.
One of.
Yeah.
Io's is still the baddest.
Yeah. Also, too, what I like about this pairing, Mauro Ronaldo made a point to address that Reina Gonzalez refers to herself as Big Mama Cool, making a nod in reference to the Shawn Michaels and Diesel partnership back in the 90s. So I like that. I thought that was a nice little nod. I like the nickname Big Mama Cool. Okay, Raquel Gonzalez, I feel you. I'm with you on that. But going back to the match, fairly quick match. It was an enhancement match. Casey Canzaro does come out. There's some stuff, some brawling on the outside. It was solid. It was okay. Like I said,
still gets beat down.
Yeah, but Dakota does get the win with her new submission finish. I thought it was a good submission, and they're slowly building her up. So it looks like Io's going to be doing some stuff. They're going to have some challengers, and they're trying to build up Dakota Kai as one of the main challengers for that NXT title down the line. And I like that because I've been the big Dakota Kai guy, and I really, really hope she actually gets to that main event level in the NXT Women's Division.
By the way, guys, I just want to ask, you guys like my new microphone? It looks pretty dope.
It looks good, man. It looks professional. Given that you are a pro wrestler, it makes sense that you actually holding up the mic. You getting ready for when quarantine's over and you got to cut a promo. It works.
Yeah, you know what? See, here's the funny thing. Not to cut you off, Vince, but hopefully, good news, guys. Hopefully, things will be open up in July.
Oh, okay.
So we might be starting to go back into wrestling. We're for us in Chicago. We're in phase 3 right now of the coronavirus situation. But, a lot of stuff is starting to open up. But I'm really hoping and praying that in July, this thing could get going because I've had too much food and this gut is starting to look way bad.
I'm with you there, man. This quarantine hasn't been good for me in terms of my body weight. I need to drop a couple of pounds for sure. But
hey, even though you may say that, you still looking good, bro.
I appreciate that. I don't have the suave look that I had for the takeover recap. I can't bring that out all the time, but I do what I can. It's a
lifetime thing, man.
Yeah.
Well, not once in every while.
Once in the blue moon. Yeah, for
there
sure. But you were speaking about stuff opening up. The NXT interviewee was trying to get Keith Lee to open up about what just happened about the North American title match next week and potentially challenging Adam Cole for the title when Candice LeRae gets in his face. And Keith Lee is not face whatsoever because Mia Yim is standing behind her. And he's like, I love that that's the thing now. Candice trying to clap and go at Keith Lee. And then he's like, Mia's right behind you. And then they brawl to the backstage area. This feud is obviously going to continue. They're not done with this. It gives Candice something to do, and it gives Mia something to do.
I mean, I love it. I feel like this is some. It's sorry if I'm lost for words.
Yeah.
But it gives them both something to do, but at the same time, it builds them both up.
For sure.
Which is what I want because Aaron, our wonderful friend Aaron has been talking about, who is Mia Yim?
Yeah.
And I don't get that question. It'd be different if she was Aaliyah, but she's not Aaliyah.
Exactly. So I get that. I get that for sure. So I'm gonna quickly brush through the next things that happened here. We had
But wait, we do got a plug though, don't we?
um yeah, yeah. But I'll save that towards the end. I'll do one more play. I know which one you're talking about, but we'll talk about that towards the end. Quickly, Bronson Reed took on Leon Ruff. Squash match took less than 2 minutes. The big talking point here was afterwards, where he calls out Karrion Kross because he was attacked by Kross last week. He's like, "Yo, I'm challenging you to a match next week." And
That's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about.
I like
Even
that.
though I know he's gonna lose,
Yeah.
Like Bronson Reed is like really, really guy. I love that man. I need more from him.
I'm with him for sure. I like the guy. He seems like a kind of guy that you need to put him in a stable, and then like he'll flourish with the stable as he's slowly growing and developing.
I want him to fuck some shit up. That's what I really want him to do.
Yeah. I think that's what he needs, a stable, so he can develop his character a little bit more. Like, because obviously in the ring he can go. He's solid. We cut backstage. We see Damian Priest going up to his car, and he's upset. He's livid because someone slashed his tires. And as that's happening, as the camera is focusing on Damian Priest, Cameron Grimes drives by on his car. It kind of like alluding to the fact that it was probably him that slashed Damian Priest's tires. And
I'm pretty sure it was. After the beatdown that he got last week, I'm pretty sure it was him.
Exactly. So it feels like it was him for sure. And then I love the little line he threw. I was like, "Hey, yo, Priest, should I order an Uber for you?" And he laughs and drives away. I thought it was very charming, very good. I liked it. It looks like
question, Vince. Did we get into the whole Phantasma deal?
No, that's actually coming up next. That's why I want to fly through these next two things so we can talk about the Phantasma and the main event. So, like we mentioned, Mercedes Martinez, she has a vignette. She's coming soon. I'm hyped. I'm excited. I've seen her here in Chicago. Love her. Nothing but good things to say about Mercedes. And nothing but good things to say about Pablo Escobar. Wait, Pablo Escobar? Santos Escobar. I'm sorry. It's going to take me a minute. He just recently debuted the new name, okay? It's going to take me a minute.
You could have called him Phantasma, and we would have knew what you were talking about.
Yeah, I know. But Santos Escobar comes out with his new faction that includes Raul Mendoza and Joaquin Wilde. They cut a promo. He said he had wrestled for 20 years under the mask, and that's all people could see was the mask. He had earned a spot here in NXT, and he knew that when he did that, he had to put the past, his past, like leave the past, his past self there. It was a new start, a new beginning here for him in NXT. He mentioned that his dad, the original El Fantasma, told him that he would be a great leader when he was a kid, and he's not here to be a great luchador. And he's here to be a great leader. And he really talked himself up. He was like, "Oh, I was the best luchador over there in Mexico for 20 years. I was the guy, but all the people cared about was the mask. I want them to care about me. I'm a leader. I can't be a leader if I'm just a masked luchador."
I love it. It's not tearing down the spirit of Lucha Libre. It's more so putting him up. Like, Lucha Libre is always going to be great. It's pretty much what started professional wrestling in the first place. But at the same time, I love the storyline that it's going through, where he's talking about, "Oh, I don't want to be known for the mask. I want to be known for me.
Yeah, for my leadership.
For me." That is literally, to be quite honest with you, that doesn't even sound like heel work. That just sounds like you on your own type shit. That's what I like.
Yeah,
that's what I like.
And what I really liked was the aesthetic look to all of them. They all look professional, like well dressed, similar to Evolution when they first debuted and shit like that.
I'm not gonna lie, Vince. They looked like you last week, man. You're looking suave and whatnot, bro. I'm telling you,
it's a Latino thing. What could I say? We dress well when we want to. And what they wanted, what Santos Escobar wanted to do, is he wanted to make Raul Mendoza and Joaquin Wilde into leaders themselves. He said because he is the leader of leaders. He mentioned that he's going to do that by bringing the Legado del Fantasma, like that, and that's translated to Legacy of the Phantom. So it looks like we got a name for them, Legado del Fantasma, aka Legacy of the Phantom. So it looks like that's a dope ass name. Like I would want to be part of Legacy of the Phantom. So, like where do I sign up? Forget like join Dark Order. I want to join Legacy of the Phantom, Legado del Fantasma. That's what I want to join.
I love it. I am in love with it. Like I wish I was a lucha libre
Yeah.
wrestler.
Uh-huh.
Like I wish I was in lucha libre because that would be like the best thing. I don't think I would do well with a mask on though. So
I mean, you don't have to wear a mask to be a luchador.
Yeah, but at the same time, it gives. I feel like it's like this. Every one of our wonderful, legendary wrestlers. That includes Eddie Guerrero. That includes Chavo. That includes Juventud. That includes a whole bunch of wrestlers from the past in Lucha Libre have worn masks. They've all worn masks.
Yeah.
So, like, I feel like that's when you think of Lucha Libre, you think of the spirit of the mask. That's what I feel.
Mm-hmm.
It's
cool.
a big thing.
Yeah, for sure. I totally get you on that. But apparently, Drake Maverick's not a fan like we are because he came out and he confronted Santos and he tells him like, "Hey man, they always say that Drake, you never think before you do stuff." And he's like, "You're right. I'm not thinking." He goes, he charges the ring, he attacks Santos. He gets a couple licks in before Mendoza and Wild attack him, gang up. The numbers advantage too much for him to overcome.
Game, you know how it goes.
They spell to the outside. And I love this spot. They they hit Drake with a Phantom Driver from one elevated level table into like a broken table. So they put him through a table with the Phantom Driver. They stood tall. That's what they're gonna do. So Drake Maverick's gonna be the first guy to try to take down Legado del Fantasma. So
just giving you guys a heads up, the Phantom Driver is also the Samoan Driver, which is also the move that I use in the ring. So you guys can check that out. So
yeah, for sure. So let's move on to the main event. I'm totally into the whole like Legado del Fantasma faction. I'm glad they have a name, and this sounds like a very good name. So we have the main event. Women's tag team title match. We opened up the show with the men's NXT tag title match. Now we got the women's one. I knew this was going to be the main event since they announced it last week because two big names in Sasha Banks and Bayley, the current champions, they were defending.
I was more concerned about Pamela. I was more concerned about her.
Of course you were.
She's been. Was I not supposed to go shoot? We're not doing shoot names here. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I was so concerned about Bayley. I don't watch SmackDown enough.
Mm-hmm.
So when I get to see Bayley, it's a beautiful thing because I still think of her as like she's so underrated.
Oh,
she's so underrated.
I think people are slowly coming around to the fact that she's probably the best member of the Horsewomen. She's the all around the most all around best package wrestler out of the four of them probably.
Like here's my thing. Like everyone talks about Sasha. They talk about Becky and they talk about Charlotte, but no one really talks about Bayley like that.
Yeah.
No one.
Yeah.
And it sucks because you know what, Bayley has got all of it. Like she's really good. She's really good. Like I'm happy that this second run that she has with the title is going way better than her first run.
100%. 100% agree with you. So her and her best friend Sasha Banks were defending the titles against Shotzi Blackheart and Tegan Nox for
Boston Hug Connection all day, baby.
Actually, they were referred to the golden
we're not,
role
we're
models.
Not doing this.
They are the golden role models.
It's the Boston Hug Connection.
Bayley doesn't hug
It is always going to be that for me. Boston Hug Connection because I love it because it reminds me of the Rock and Sock Connection. So I'm all for it.
Obviously.
I'm all for it.
This is a really good match. It had a lot of cool spots in it. Even though you're not a fan of Tegan Nox using the chokeslam, I like it when she uses the chokeslam on wrestlers that are smaller than her. So like if she hits on Dakota Kai or Sasha Banks, where she tossed Sasha Banks to the outside. God damn, that shit looked dope as fuck. They also like the old school.
This is the one time that I approved that move on Sasha Banks because she's pretty small. Yeah. Sasha Banks is pretty small. She's a midget. So
So, like for instance, I don't want to see her trying to do that on Raquel Gonzalez or
If she
like a
does,
Charlotte.
I'm calling bullshit on everything.
For sure. Shotzi can probably hit that old school running under the ropes plancha on just about anyone, cause that looked really dope too. She goes and hits it on Bailey and Sasha Banks to the outside. I really liked
It's
it.
so good to see Shotzi actually getting the spotlight. It's really good to see where she came from and to see her on NXT, especially at this time. This is what where it really gets me the most.
Yeah, for
with
sure.
with NXT, with everything going on right now, like the coronavirus and everything, and for her to still get a spot, on NXT with everything going on, I think that's amazing. I think that's awesome.
For sure. I'm with you on that for sure, man. So
sorry if I'm talking a little too much, man.
No. No, that's fine, man. That's what we're here for, to talk wrestling and just talk about what we like and what we thought of, like what was presented to us on the show. That's exactly what we're supposed to do, man. That's the job. Or I mean, not job because we don't get paid for this, but it's the hobby.
Enjoy it just as much as anyone else does.
For sure. So the finish of the match was Sasha Banks locking in the bank statement, but Shotzi's able to reverse it into a Castle Militia submission move, and Sasha looks like she might be able to. It might be tapping there. They tease the fact that we could be having new champions. As it looks like Sasha's about to tap, Bailey comes in, tries to make the save with a steel chair. Tegan Nox stops her, prevents her from doing so.
Eddie Guerrero.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she tried. That's the key word. She tried to, because Tegan stopped her right away. The ref was trying to get them out of the ring because neither of them are the legal competitor. While this whole thing is going on, for whatever reason, the ref decided, I'm going to try to get Tegan Nox out of the ring and not Bailey. Bailey goes and moves Sasha Banks so she's able to reverse and escape the Castle Militia submission move and lock in the bank statement on Shotzi Blackheart. She does make Shotzi tap out. They retain the titles. Very strong showing from Tegan Nox and Shotzi Blackheart. This is probably the second best match, because I thought the opener was better match than this one. But subjective. It's subjective. Depending on what you like more, you might have like.
I thought the first match, the opener, was a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
Not too much better though.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't like too much better. It's more or less like, this is like, it was Coke and Pepsi. Which one do you like?
I still
more?
like them both. Doesn't make a difference.
Exactly. So both matches were really good, but there wasn't a match tonight that was like, wow, that was an amazing match. You gotta go back and watch that match. Honestly, you could probably skip any of these matches and just follow up with the storylines, and you should be fine. And so after the match, obviously, like I said, Bailey takes advantage of the situation, helps Sasha reverse, get the submission, and tap out Shotzi Blackheart. Shotzi looked strong and resilient. Tegan Nox looks amazing. Hopefully, and also too, they're not a set tag team, so you can also have the excuse like they don't have the chemistry, and they don't have the continuity. They don't have the reps of being a national tag team. After the match,
but they do not love ice cream sandwiches though.
Exactly,
they do love ice cream sandwiches though.
For sure, they definitely do. And after the match, they start gloating. Sasha Banks and Bailey, they start gloating, mocking NXT, and that prompts Io Shirai to come out and jump them, attack them. At one point, Ashley hits the double knee stomps in the corner to Bailey, Sasha Banks. They spill to the outside. It looks like she's about to hit a dive, and she fakes them out, similar to like what Ricochet would do. Very, very dope. That's how NXT closes off, with Io Shirai coming to the defense and standing up for NXT. She's like, this is my NXT. Basically saying like, yo, I know you're the women's tag champions. I know you're the SmackDown women's champion, Bailey, but you're in NXT. I'm the NXT women's champion. This is my championship. This is my kingdom. Yeah, she's run this shit, and I love that out of Io. So it does look like Io Shirai is transitioned from being a pure heel to being more of a tweener / baby face, and I'm all for it. This feels more like what Asuka was doing back in NXT, where depending on the circumstance and the situation, like she kind of felt like the heel when she was facing off against Bailey and got the title off of Bailey. But
Asuka feels like that crazy uncle. that's how she feels like that crazy uncle that like I would love to hang out with, but would always get me in trouble.
Oh, for sure. For sure, definitely. So yeah, so we had that situation. I don't know if this is gonna lead into a match with either Bayley or Sasha. Fingers crossed we get Io Shirai versus Sasha Banks or Io Shirai versus Bayley at some point. I want to see both those matches. Oh my gosh. Just give me 2 singles matches. I want to enjoy this as much as I can. But speaking of titles, speaking of belts, before we close out the show, quick shout out to Belts by Dan, the sponsor of the show. Belts by Dan is a custom championship belt manufacturing, repair, restoration, and resale company started by the owner of BeltsTalk.com. Belts by Dan offers fully custom championship title belts identical to the quality of those used on television by major boxing, MMA, pro wrestling companies. They also offer accessories for owners of existing titles, as well as resale of already completed belts targeted at high-end collectors. So if you ever buy a custom championship belt, you need to spruce it up, fix it up, Belts by Dan will hook you up. And if you do head over to Belts by Dan, let them know that Smack Raw Podcast sent you. It'll help us greatly. And, just hit up Belts by Dan so it doesn't look like that TNT title. I know I trash that TNT title all the time, but it is terrible. Shit. You know what, Jay? Your PWX Tag Team title looks way better. And if you ever need to maintain it, you ever got to make sure that Tag Team title of yours looks amazing, take it to Belts by Dan. And
thank you. You know what? I'm going to think about that.
For sure. I mean, it looks good right now. It doesn't need to be taken to Belts by Dan, but if you ever lose like a diamond or a stud or anything like that, go ahead.
Oh, and by the way, guys, as of June of this month, it'll be a 6-month reign as the PWX AWA Tag Team Champion.
Can you really count 3 of those months, though? Can you really count 3 of those? Like, I'm proud of you, man.
I can because I still hold the belt. So
all right. Well, I'm happy on your 6-month reign. Will Keith Lee have a 6-month reign? Will his reign go on longer than yours? Let's talk about the matches next week. We have Bronson Reed versus Karrion Kross confirmed for next week. Quickly, Karrion Kross, right?
He's gonna lose.
Exactly.
He's gonna lose. Karrion Kross is gonna win.
Yeah. Damian Priest taking on Cameron Grimes.
I feel like it could go either way.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I'm gonna go ahead and say Cameron Grimes gets a cheat win, like a roll up or like gets tight or uses the ropes.
I feel like since he's on a roll, Damian Priest.
Cool. And obviously the North American Triple Threat title match between Keith Lee, Johnny Gargano, and Finn Balor. Obviously,
I'm hoping and praying it's Keith Lee.
Right. For sure. Me too. Because I really do want to see him go ahead and get that NXT title. And like you mentioned it all the time on the show, you want the prophecy to be fulfilled.
Prophecy.
And
prophecy.
And get that title off of Adam Cole.
Get
so
that title off of Adam Cole.
So that's what we have slated for NXT. 3 solid matches, a lot of story development made tonight. I'm excited for next week's episode. Hopefully we'll have RN back, and if not, we'll hold it down. We'll hold the fort down for him. He'll be back whenever he's ready to come back. But in the meantime, I've been your host, SES Vince. My co-host,
hold on just a second. Wait a second.
Yeah?
Wait a second.
What am I missing?
For all you guys out there, and maybe this is just me, because I just want to say it, there's a special person's birthday that's going to be tomorrow. Just so you know.
Well, this will actually be airing like on the special person's birthday. You should definitely hit him up on Twitter at JThunder2009 and wish him a happy birthday.
Wish me a happy birthday.
or find him on Instagram or Facebook.
Find me on Instagram at JThunder2009. Oh, find me on Twitch, JThunder2009. It doesn't. Oh, actually, no, not Twitch. Twitch, it's the J Thunder, so you don't have to worry about that. But I would appreciate all the birthday wishes. That'd be great. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, birthday wishes are much welcome. If you're watching it on Facebook, birthday wishes are also welcome. Everybody, I support, love and support Smack Raw, love and support me, love and support Vince, love and support everybody.
For sure, man.
That's what we want.
Nothing but love. You're going to be getting some birthday wishes. You guys should as well. Like I said, find them at JThunder2009. You can hit up the show at Smack Raw Pod. You can hit me up at SES Vince. You know where to find us. We're on YouTube. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Stitcher. We're on Google Play. Go check us out wherever you consume all your wrestling podcasting content. This has been the Smack Raw Podcast. We'll catch you guys next week. Thank you all again. And happy early birthday, Jay. We'll see you guys next week.
Hashtag sexy Vince.
Okay.